Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope you're all doing okay, um, and I hope, yeah, you're continuing to study your English. So it's time for a new class. So let's begin. So today we're going to be doing a bit of grammar, and we're going to start on the pupils book on page 38. Okay, which is this page here. All right. Now, a couple of things that we can discuss just to warm up. The title of the unit is "Are you a risk taker?" Are you a risk taker? Now, if you take risks, okay, that means you do things even though there could be bad consequences. Consequences, okay, but you do them anyway because there could be a very positive outcome. Okay, a risk taker. We take risks every day. Okay. Like if you ever go skiing, you're taking a risk because you could fall and hurt yourself. Excuse me 1 second. So yes, we take risks all the time. Okay. Um, so um, let's start the class. Let's have a read. Okay. So just something to think about. All right. It says, imagine you had a dream where you were standing on the edge of a precipice. Okay, so like, for example, standing on the edge of a mountain, right? So there's a big drop, right? So you're standing on the edge of a precipice. What sort of dream would it be for you? Okay, so if you dreamed you were standing on the edge of a precipice, would it be an exciting dream, a nightmare, or an interesting one which you might try to interpret? Okay. Whatever you answer may be an indication of how much of a risk taker you are. Okay, how much of a risk taker. Now, we can't do the exercise exactly like it's in the book because it involves some speaking. But all right, we can have a look at some of the things it says here. Okay, just to think about it. All right. So we have a few little questions here in these little circles, and we're supposed to sort of discuss them and see who's sort of like the biggest risk taker in the class. Okay, but we can just have a look and think about it. So I'm just gonna have a look at some of just a few of the questions. Okay, so let's have a look. So these questions can help you find out if you're a person who takes risks. Okay, have you ever done any dangerous sports or activities? Did you enjoy them? Would you do them again? Dangerous sports, so things like I said, skiing, water sports can be dangerous. Um, but yeah, have you ever done any dangerous sports or activities, and did you enjoy them? Um, I'm trying to think if I've done any dangerous sports. Probably, yeah, skiing would be one of the most dangerous ones, but I definitely enjoyed it. What about you? Okay. Let's have a look what it says here. Have you ever done something dramatically different to your appearance? For example, had a very different hairstyle or hair color, a tattoo or a piercing. How did you feel afterwards, and did you regret it? Okay, so maybe some of you have, for some reason, just radically changed your hair. One time when I was younger, I shaved all of my hair off completely, so I was like an old man with no hair. And I did regret it afterwards, yes. Let's have a look at a couple of other things. Here you go. When you're crossing the road, do you normally cross the road at a traffic light or a zebra crossing? Okay, so when you're at the zebra crossing with the black and white lines, do you wait for the green man or do you just walk across the road? That can indicate how much of a risk taker you are. Myself, I always cross at a traffic light or a zebra crossing, and I always wait for the green man because car accidents can be very serious. So I never take risks on the road. Do you walk by yourself late at night or get late night taxis? Some of you like to go out. Walking home alone at night can sometimes be a bit risky, can be dangerous. Okay, but I'm sure many of you have done that. Okay, so those are just some examples of ways that we can take risks. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we have a listening exercise. Okay, and it says, listen to 6 people answering the question, are you a risk taker? How many of the speakers consider themselves risk takers? Okay, well, we won't worry about that. We'll go straight on to exercise C. All right, so we're going to listen, and we have to say which speaker says these things or thinks these things. All right, so let's have a read. Which speaker says that some activities are enjoyable because they are a bit risky? Okay. Which speaker thinks that his or her attitude to risk is different from what it was before? Who thinks that taking risks means losing control? Who had to pay some money because of his or her risky behavior? Who worries about his or her personal safety? And who does something which most people think of as very risky, but which he or she says is not? Okay. So, let's have a listen. Okay, and we'll put the numbers in the box, okay, to mark which speaker thinks which thing. Okay, so let's listen.
2.38. 1. Yes, I think I am. Or anyway, more than I used to be. I think my attitude to risk has changed as I've got older. For example, I'm more open to risking a change in appearance because I think I'm less self-conscious now. I often change hairstyles and colour, but when I was younger, I had the same hairstyle for years and years. I also think I would take more risks travelling now because I'm more self-confident, so I'm pretty sure I could cope with any problems. 2.
Yes, I'm definitely a risk taker. I take risks to do things that I enjoy, like skiing or cycling in London, which is pretty dangerous. In fact, I think the element of risk probably makes them even more enjoyable. The only time I wouldn't take a risk would be if I couldn't see that I was going to get any pleasure from it. I wouldn't do something risky just for the sake of it.
3.
I'm the sort of person who likes to know exactly what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, so there's not much room for risk in my life. For me, risk means not being completely in control, and that can make me feel really nervous. For example, if I'm meeting a friend for dinner, I always make sure we have a table booked somewhere nice. I wouldn't risk just turning up and hoping that there was a table. And I never buy clothes online because I don't want to run the risk of them being the wrong size and having to send them back.
4.
I'm definitely not a risk taker. I might like to think that I am, as it seems exciting, but I'm not. I live in a suburb of London, and I'd never walk home on my own in the evening when it's dark, as that just seems like an unnecessary risk to take, and I'd never get into a taxi on my own at night. But on the other hand, I would love to do something like bungee jumping or paragliding, which other people would probably think is risky.
5.
I don't see myself as a risk taker. I've done a lot of mountain climbing, and everyone assumes because of this that I'm attracted to risk, but it isn't really true. In fact, when you're climbing high mountains, you're always trying to minimize the risk. The biggest risk I've ever taken in my life was a professional one. After 20 years in the same job, I left and set up my own company. And that's given me a lot more sleepless nights than climbing in the Andes or the Himalayas.
6.
I'm happy to take risks. I love driving fast. In fact, I bought myself a sports car when I had some money, and I got quite a few speeding tickets.
though probably not as many as I deserved. I also take risks with money, like lending to people who probably won't pay me back, or spending all I have on something a bit unnecessary. Last year, I went on a balloon ride, and I was amazed that so many people said, "Ooh, I wouldn't do that." I loved it, and I'd happily do it again. It was fantastic.
Okay, very good. Did you manage to get all of the answers? Okay. Remember, pause the video, go back and listen again. Okay, so you listen to it twice. Now, don't worry if you didn't get everything. It's just like a warm-up exercise. Okay, it's not the main thing we'll be doing today. Okay, but slightly a little bit interesting. Okay. Anyway, let's have a look at the answers. So, I'll just put the answers here. Okay, so the first speaker thinks that their attitude to risk is different from what it was before. Second speaker says some activities are enjoyable because they're risky. The third speaker thinks that taking risks means losing control. Speaker 4 worries about their personal safety. Speaker 5 does something which most people think of as risky, but they say it isn't. And number 6 had to pay some money because of their risky behavior. Okay. Now, if you're still having trouble, what you can do is, now that you know the answers, you can go back and listen again and try and sort of connect the ideas. Okay, try and understand why that answer is correct. All right, but like I said, just a little warm-up exercise. Okay, good. Let's go to the next page. All right, and so this is the main thing that we're going to be doing today, is the grammar bit here. All right, so let's have a look now. Today we're going to be going over conditionals, okay, but just the zero and first conditionals and some future time clauses. All right, so what we'll do first is we'll go through this exercise. Okay, you can try it on your own. Okay, so we have a bunch of eight conditional sentences, and we have to match them up. Okay, we have to match them up. All right, so we'll do the first one all together, okay, and I'll leave you to do the rest on your own. Okay, if my dad finds out I've been hitchhiking. Hitchhiking, what is hitchhiking? That is when you are traveling and you are standing at the side of the road and you do this, and you try and get people to stop in their car and take you to wherever you're going. Okay, hitchhiking. Okay, when you're on the road and you're trying to find somebody to take you in the car. All right, just somebody that you don't know. Maybe not so common these days. Anyway, let's have a look. If my dad finds out I've been hitchhiking, okay, so did you get the answer? The answer should be B. He will be furious, okay? Because hitchhiking can be quite dangerous, obviously. So yes. And of course it's talking about the dad and it says he, right? So that helps us get the answer. Okay, so on your own, try and match up the rest of the sentences, okay? And pause the video. Have you finished? Excellent. Okay, let's look at our answers. Let's see, number 2. When you're crossing the road in the UK, make sure you look right and then left. It's always a bit confusing because in the UK they drive on the other side of the road. So in Spain, when we cross the road, we look left and then right. But in the UK, you have to look right and then left. Anyway, number 3. As soon as I've passed my driving test, I'm going to buy a car. Number 4. If it's still raining this afternoon, we're calling off the match. Number 5. When I've booked the flights, we can start looking for hotels. Number 6. If you don't ask her to pay you back, she will have forgotten she borrowed it. Number 7. If I'm not feeling better tomorrow, I won't be going to work. Number 8. If you carry on with the diet, you will have lost 10 kilos by Christmas. Okay. Good. Okay, did you manage to get the answers? All right, make sure you put the corrections in your book. Now, if you studied conditionals before, you're probably thinking that you don't recognize these conditional structures. Okay, but not to worry, because we're going to have a closer look. All right, now, if you look at all of the highlighted verbs, it can give you some indication of the rules. Okay, so if you look at all these verb tenses here, all of them are in a present tense. Okay, all of them are in a present tense. All right, so that's either present simple, present continuous, or present perfect. All right, if my dad finds out, it's present simple. When you're crossing the road, right, that's present continuous. As soon as I have passed my driving test, okay, and that's present perfect. So we can use all of these present tenses, okay? And then what about the second part of the sentences, okay? Again, let's look at the verbs in that are highlighted here, okay? And if you look, all of these are kind of future forms, okay? They either use will or going to, or even future perfect and future continuous, okay? And then you can also have imperatives and can instead of will, all right? So, the grammatical rules aren't as strict as what you thought, okay? Let's have a closer look. Let's look in our notebooks, okay? All right, and I'll just try and break it down as simple as possible. All right, so the title today is Conditionals. All right, the date is Thursday, the 2nd of April. All right, and we're going to look at, the first conditional and the zero conditional. Now, if you studied the first conditional before, you're probably thinking that you need to use present simple and will. Okay, the example I always use: if you study, you will pass the exam. All right. Now, before we said it's only using present simple and will, but you can actually expand it. Okay, so let's have a look at the rule. So first conditional. We use first conditional to talk about things that will probably happen in the future. Okay, so possible things that could happen in the future. All right. Now, we don't need to strictly use will and the present simple. All right. We can use after the if part, right? We can use any present tense. Okay, that means present simple, present continuous, or present perfect. Okay, so you can use any present tense right here in the first clause, and then in the second part, you can use any future tense. Okay, so that's will, going to, but there's also future perfect and future continuous. Okay, so all it is, it's instead of using present simple and will, it's using the present in any form and the future in any form, right? Because you're talking about something that'll probably happen in the future. Okay, so you don't have to stick to present simple and will. Okay, you can say all kinds of things in all kinds of ways. All right, and I'll show you a couple of examples here. All right, so the first one, I'll say, if he has finished his homework, he will be playing video games. Right, if he has finished his homework, he will be playing video games. So here I've used the present perfect. Okay, and here I've used the future continuous. All right, here's a simpler example, right? If you cook dinner, I will wash the dishes. Okay, if you cook dinner, I will wash the dishes. All right, so that's a sort of more typical example, right? Present simple and will. Okay, but again, you can use any present tense in the first clause, and you can use any future tense in the second part. All right, and you can have a look at more examples of that in the book here. Okay, so have a go and try and write 2 more examples of a first conditional sentence. And if you can, try and make it a little bit different, okay? Try and use present continuous or present perfect or, or future perfect or something like this. Be adventurous, okay? But yes, try and give 2 more examples. Okay, good. So that's the first conditional, okay? So it's not too complicated. Zero conditional. Now we use this to talk about things which are always true, right? General things that are true. All right, and to use a zero conditional, we just use 2 present tenses. Okay, so we use if in the if part. We just use if in a present tense. Okay, again, that could be present simple, present continuous, or present perfect. All right, and then in the second part, we also use a present tense. Okay, 2 things which are always true. All right. So I've given you a couple of examples here. All right. So I'm not talking about something that might happen in the future, right? I'm talking about facts, right? Let's have a look at the examples. If people are looking, right, present continuous, if people are looking at their phones, they don't see what's in front of them. Okay? So I'm not predicting anything, I'm just saying when this happens, this happens. All right? Just something that's true. Another example, okay, something that is definitely always true. If I don't eat, I get angry. Okay? Again, I'm not predicting anything in the future. I'm just saying something that's true, right? If I don't eat, I get angry, right? Always. Okay? Maybe you're the same. So that's the zero conditional, okay? So again, pretty easy. All right. The important thing to remember is, more than what grammar you need to use is what you need to use them for. Okay. So, so the important thing is, when you use them. Are you going to talk about something that might happen in the future, or are you talking about something which is always true? Okay. This is the main thing. All right. Good. So. Yep, so you can do two more examples of your own, okay? And good, okay, all finished? So let's go back to our pupils book, okay? And now we're going to practice, okay? We're going to get some practice. So let's go to page 139, all right, in the grammar bank at the back. Now here you have more examples, okay, and explanations. All right, but you have more examples. So look at the examples, all right, and look at how they use the different tenses, okay? And then let's have a look at this part here. Now, we will make notes of this in a minute, okay? But these are future time clauses, okay? So when we make a conditional sentence, we don't always have to use the word if, right? We can use other clauses depending on what we're saying, okay? So these are a few that we can use in conditional sentences. Now, you may already know these words, okay? So as soon as, when, until, unless, and in case, okay? So let's have a look at the examples just to get an idea of what they mean, all right? I will be ready as soon as I have had a cup of coffee. Okay, so as soon as means right at the moment, okay? Send me a message when your train's coming into the station, okay? Well, you all know what when means, okay? But you see, for example, there's a difference in the meaning of the sentence if I say, send me a message if your train's coming into the station, and send me a message when your train's coming into the station, okay? 2 different meanings, okay? So we can change these based on what we're trying to say. Let's look at the next one. I'm not going to buy the new model until the price has gone down a bit, okay? Until, right, which means up to a certain point in time, okay? I'm not going to work overtime this weekend unless I get paid for it. That's only on the condition, right? unless. It's kind of like saying if not. Yeah, it's like negative of if. It's like saying if not. And the last one, take your umbrella in case it's raining when you leave work. Okay, in case we have an explanation here. All right. It says we use in case when we do something in order to be ready for future situations. And then, so it's just comparing, say, if we use if and if we use in case. All right, so look at this sentence. It says, I will take an umbrella if it rains. All right, and the meaning of this is that if it doesn't rain, he won't take an umbrella. Okay. And this sentence, I'll take an umbrella in case it rains. So that means I'll take an umbrella anyway because it might rain. All right. So even if it doesn't rain, he's still going to take the umbrella because it's possible, in case, in the possibility. Okay. So that's what in case means. Well, they should make more sense as we use them in practice. Okay. So anyway, all right, zero conditionals, first conditionals, and future time clauses. Okay. So let's have a go at the exercise. Okay. Let's have a go at the exercise. Circle the correct form. All right. So you have a couple of options. You have to choose the correct one. It says, don't worry, Rob will have passed the exam if he has studied enough. Okay. So here I use will, okay, because it's a first conditional sentence. Okay, this part is with the present perfect, right? So this must be a future tense. Okay, we'll do the first two together, and I'll leave you to do the rest on your own. Okay. All right, let's have a look. So if you're not feeling better, or if you won't be feeling better tomorrow, you should go to the doctors. You should go to the doctors. Okay, well, if it's the part with if, it has to be a present tense, yeah? So it can't be this. So it must be, if you're not feeling better tomorrow, you should go to the doctors. All right, present continuous here. Let's try number 2. If we are lucky, right, so it's present. So the next one has to be a future tense, okay? We will have sold, or we have sold our house by Christmas. Well, it has to be future, so we will have sold our house by Christmas. Okay. Finish the rest of the exercises, finish the rest of the questions on your own, okay? And you can pause the video. Okay, you all finished? Let's look at our answers. Okay, so number 3, I'll pay for dinner if I have enough money. Number 4, if we carry on playing like this, we will have scored 10 goals by halftime. Number 5, don't call Sophie now. If it's 8 o'clock, she'll be bathing the baby. We never use this the word bath as a verb. But number 6, if you don't hurry up, you won't get to school on time. Number 7, you can be fined. A fine is a multa. Right? You can be fined if you okay, this is a mistake. Okay, that is not the correct answer. Okay, that is not the correct answer. All right, it should be you can be fined if you aren't wearing, right? I'm going to circle it. This. Okay, this should be the answer. So that's a little mistake I have here, right? This is not the answer. This is the answer. You can be fined if you aren't wearing a seatbelt in your car. Okay. Let's have a look at the next one. If you go out with wet hair, again, that's the wrong answer. If you go out with wet hair, it should be you will catch a cold. Okay, I don't know why. Must be a mistake in the computer program. Okay, I'll just circle the answers now. My suitcase always gets lost if I have a connecting flight. Yeah, that's a zero conditional, something that's always true. And the last one, I won't go to work on Monday if my daughter is still ill. Okay? Good. All right, so those are the correct answers. All right, make sure you have all the corrections in your book. Okay? Good. Okay, so let's have a practice with these time expressions. Okay, let's have a practice with these time expressions. So, all right, and we can, and as we go through the examples or the questions, we can get a better idea of what they mean. You can also think, what do these expressions mean in your language? How can you say them in your language? Okay, it may help you to understand. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, so these are all future time clauses that we can use. So we'll look at the example. I'll call you as soon as my plane lands. I'll call you as soon as my plane lands. Okay. Let's have a look at this all together. Okay. So we'll go one by one. Okay. So choose from the box here. I'm going to pack my suitcase. I go to bed. Okay. So which one? Now, if we say, for example, I'm going to pack my suitcase if I go to bed, that doesn't really make sense, right? So think, what word can we use to make a logical sentence? I'm going to pack my suitcase before I go to bed, right? That makes sense. Okay, let's have a look. Number 2, do you want to borrow my sat-nav? Now, sat-nav means satellite navigation. It's basically a GPS system, right, that you have in your car, kind of like Google Maps. Okay, except a few years ago, we didn't use the phones. You had to buy a sat-nav separately and put it in your car. But nowadays, everybody just uses the phones, so they don't really exist anymore. Anyway, do you want to borrow my sat-nav? You get lost. So which one makes sense here? Do you want to borrow my sat-nav in case you get lost, right? So in this meaning, okay, the person, they probably won't get lost, but if they do, right, they can have the sat-nav. Okay, good. Number 3, I will be leaving work early tomorrow. Unless, right, so like if not, unless my boss has a crisis. Okay, good. Number 4, I will be meeting an old friend. Do you know what the answer is? I will be meeting an old friend when I'm in London next week. Good. All right. Don't worry. I will call you. I opened the letter with my exam results. Do you know the answer? I will call you as soon as I open the letter with my exam results. Number 6. I'm late tomorrow. Start the meeting without me. Which one? If I'm late tomorrow, start the meeting without me. All right. Number 7. Lily will have packed some sandwiches. We get hungry. What's the answer? In case we get hungry. Number 8. The children will be playing in the park. It gets dark. Which one? Until it gets dark. Good. Number 9. We've had lunch. We could go for a walk. Which one? After we've had lunch, we could go for a walk. All right, last one. Don't call the emergency number unless it's a real emergency. All right. Good. Okay, make sure you have all the correct answers. Now, what we'll do is we're going to go back to our notebook, okay? And we'll do here, we'll just make another little subheading, future time clauses, okay? And what we'll do here is we'll just list down all of those little words that we just used, okay, or little expressions, okay? So as soon as, when, if, till, unless, before, after, I'll put this on the page. Before, after, in case. Are there any others? No, I think that's it. Okay. All right. So, what you can do, okay. So make a note of this in your notebook, and what you can do here is you can look up these words on the internet, okay, and you can write the equivalent in your language next to them, okay. And then when you finish that, what you can do as well to practice is, I'll say make a first conditional sentence using the clause, all right, and I'll give you 3 to do, okay. So make one using the clause as soon as, okay. So you have to make a sentence using as soon as. Make one using in case, okay, and then make another one using unless, okay. Good. All right, so all right, so copy these time clauses in your notebook, okay. Write the translation in your language next to them, all right, and then you can make 3 first conditional sentences, okay, one using as soon as, one using in case, and one using unless, okay. And again, you can look at keep looking at all the examples, all right, in the book, all right, to get a better idea of how to use it, okay. Good. Okay, so the last thing I'll leave for you to do, all right, is this exercise here, okay, this exercise here. All right, so it says complete each sentence in your own words, okay? So you have the first part of a sentence, of a conditional sentence, all right? And you just have to finish it, okay? You just have to finish it. Now, use your own ideas, okay? Remember to use the right kind of verb, okay? Present or future, okay? And then you can do this either in your pupil's book or you can write the sentences in your notebook, okay? But if you have space, do it in your pupil's book, okay? If you don't have space, do it in your notebook, depending on your writing, okay? So, all right, just to recap, all right, so this class, we should have this exercise, this listening exercise finished, okay? We should have this exercise, all right? We should have these 2 exercises on page 139, okay? You should, and then in your, for homework, okay, you can finish exercise E here, okay, so completing the sentences with your own words. And in your notebook, okay, so you should have explanation and examples of the first conditionals, explanation and examples of zero conditional, and future time clauses, okay. Now, to correct, all right, you can take a picture of your pupil's book and your notebook, and you can email it or send it by WhatsApp, okay, and we'll check it for you. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you could understand everything. All right, if you have any questions, again, just let us know. Email, WhatsApp. But yeah, otherwise, have a very nice weekend, everybody. All right. Stay at home, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.